In your life you still find time to be yourself, so let it shine. Day by day, sharing a secret, all of Olay.
It's a blend of oils and emollients, similar to your skin's own natural fluids. Its gift to your skin is radiance. Oil of Olay, for your love of life.
Day by day, sharing the secret, all of Olay.
SMP, we've got the feel for Chevrolet and Oldsmobile. A car or truck's a way of life, so why not have the one that's right? We've got it all, you'll see, at SMP. 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 Way to go, SMP!
Kids, remember our promise. We've got to watch what we eat, because I've got to watch those calories.
It isn't easy cutting back on sweets.
And you've got to watch those teeth.
Until you try sugar-free products with NutraSweet brand sweetener. The ingredient that tastes just like sugar without all sugar's calories. And NutraSweet isn't bad for your teeth.
But what about the promise?
This one's sugar-free. It's got NutraSweet.
Come home for more. Come home, home hardware brings you more. Coast to coast, 900 strong. We're on the move, so come on, Canada, come along. Come home for more. Come home, home hardware brings you more. Home hardware, home of the handyman.
13-letter word for profits.
Time on your hands, Grouper?
Finished a little early, Chief.
Processed the Alberta orders.
Done.
Qualified the Manitoba leads.
Done.
Made that big Halifax sale.
All done, thanks to telemarketing, the best of technology.
With the warmth of personal contact. So, the word for profit is?
Telemarketing, of course.
Grouper, take the rest of the day off.
Thanks, Chief.
Telemarketing. Today's way to operate.
Nothing clears my head better than a romp down a road like this. If that doesn't make sense to you, then this car probably won't either. The new generation Mazda RX-7 pours out power as smooth as silk, as only a rotary can. And nothing has a more advanced suspension system, so you track through turns like you're on rails. You can pay a whole lot more for a sports car and still not have this much fun.
Say, aren't you the driver of this new RX-7?
Hi.
Hi.
Canada's own Leslie Nielsen and Catherine Mary Stewart are your hosts for a gala night honoring Canada's film industry. The 1986 Genie Awards, Thursday, March 20th.
This is CBC Television.
To a car owner who cares, repairs can be a lot like surgery.
They said it needed a new carburetor.
So when Jeff Daigle was told he would have to replace a carburetor, it's no wonder he asked Danny Perna for a second opinion.
I've seen this kind of thing before. Just needs a little adjustment.
We're not saying Shell dealers can save you a big repair bill every time.
Yeah, just a little.
But that day, Danny Perna sure did. We're proud of pros like Danny. Shell people who help.
Saskatchewan, Jubilee Ford hears you. We made special arrangements to bring it back. 5.9% financing. 5.9% on all new cars and trucks, even used cars. 400 Crown Victorias, Escorts, Tempos, Thunderbirds, Mustangs, even tough Ford trucks, all at 5.9%. Make your payment direct to Ford Motor Company. Call this number for a free credit approval. Only Saskatchewan's #1 can do it. 5.9% only at Jubilee Ford, 8th and Cumberland. Don't miss it.
A clean canola field. For my money, Post is the best grass herbicide. Post controls grasses from the 1 to 6 leaf stage, and it's always crop safe. With Post, I didn't have to incorporate. I had a firmer seed bed, less moisture loss, and even crop germination. When you add it all up, Post gives the best value for your herbicide dollar. You're in control with Post.
Ordinary meals are acceptable for ordinary occasions, but when you're out to impress, only a Furman's meal will do. A Furman's ham is so tender and oh so juicy. It's truly worthy of any occasion. Ah, Furman's, the royal treat. Furman's, first in real quality, first in real old-fashioned flavor.
You're watching CBC Television, Saskatoon.
Tonight, a task force in Prince Albert holds up racism for everybody to see. All party lines in rural Saskatchewan will be private lines within 5 years. Sports takes you into the hunt for the 6th and final playoff spot in the WHL East. Good evening. A task force on racism in Prince Albert has spelled out race-related problems in education, housing, employment, and municipal affairs. A 75-page report released today says Native people are not getting a fair shake in the city, and what's needed is a fundamental change in attitude on the part of many people. Paul Hunter reports.
This is downtown Prince Albert. The city has about 33,000 people. Close to 9,000 of them are natives. Some people say there have been tensions between whites and natives for years. Now it's been documented. A task force report on race relations says there are a lot of racist people in Prince Albert. A survey of residents came up with some shocking answers. On how to reduce the number of native high school dropouts, one person says, shoot them, then we don't have to worry about them dropping out of anything. On native housing problems, one person says, let them live in a zoo where they belong. And on how natives are perceived, one person says they're all a bunch of second-class citizens, drunks, and Lysol drinkers.
It's nothing that we didn't expect. And that's something that we have to deal with.
Norm McCallum is chairman of the task force. It was commissioned by a native drop-in center in PA. The task force says not everybody in Prince Albert is a racist, but it says the problem does exist.
Well, I think in essence it reflects the blatant emotional feeling of I shouldn't say a majority, but a certain percentage of the non-native community.
The only people who can change things are the people of Prince Albert.
I think the way people think that there's just too many natives on welfare and they could be doing more things.
I really haven't found any problem with it. Like, I think each person is different in their opinion on that.
Indian people have to have a good look at themselves. If they want to change, they have to get involved. In other words, it's going to take years and years yet.
I think there's an underground, an undersurface animosity. There is a friction.
The report is only a start. It says there's a problem here. Now it's up to the people of Prince Albert to do something about it. If they don't, members of the task force say racism here can only get worse. Paul Hunter, CBC News, Prince Albert.
Gasoline prices are higher in Saskatoon than they are in Regina, even with today's drop of more than 2 cents a litre. Esso and Petro-Canada got the ball rolling, and other oil companies were quick to follow suit. The price for a litre of regular gas is going for 40.3 cents in Regina. Ted Preston reports on the situation in Saskatoon.
Esso started the ball rolling. They sent the word out to their dealers in Saskatoon this morning. Regular gas now sells at 2.2 cents a litre less. On the street, the change was noticed right away, and the reaction was good.
What do you think? It's pretty good according to across the street there. This price change, 43, it's pretty good.
Well, there's 23 cents worth of tax on that. I think out of that 23 cents worth of taxes, they can drop off at least 15 cents.
Well, I think everyone was kind of expecting a drop because it's been in the paper and it's something that's been, everyone has been looking forward to. So it wasn't a surprise. We're just sort of more or less waiting for it.
Esso says it dropped its prices to reflect declining world oil prices and in response to what it calls competitive conditions. But even with today's drop at the pump, gas prices are still higher in Saskatoon than in other Saskatchewan cities. Why the difference?
An Esso spokesman explained that different areas have different market forces to contend with. So local prices are strictly determined by local situations. That's why there can be such a big difference in prices within a relatively small area.
Late this afternoon, other service stations were falling into line with the Esso price cut. By morning, everyone is expected to have made the change. Ted Preston, CBC News, Saskatoon.
One of the companies trying to deal with declining prices in oil is laying off 100 people in Lloydminster. The president of Husky Oil says the layoffs will help to ease the strain on the company.
With the realignment in oil prices, we simply have to scale back the level of our operations, and that's basically what's happening with the employee complement. It is a sort of across-the-board realignment and adjustment in organization and people, and regrettably, it's something that's necessary, but it is something that is a fact of life in these markets.
People who have to share their telephone service on party lines in rural Saskatchewan have an election promise from two political parties. On Monday, the NDP promised private phone lines, and today the Premier did. Brenda Craig reports in Regina.
Premier Devine couldn't have picked a better place to make his announcements than at the annual convention of the Saskatchewan Association of Rural Municipalities. What Devine promised today is worth more than $250 million to people in rural Saskatchewan. The introduction of private lines will cost $254 million.
The program will eliminate the existing disparity between rural and urban services and will ensure equal access by rural as well as urban people in Saskatchewan to the latest telecommunications technology that you can find any place in the world.
Devine says private lines are long overdue in Saskatchewan. There are now some 70,000 party lines in the province, but by 1991, only a few lake resorts and reserves will still be without private lines. Devine says better communication is something rural people have asked for, and they've also asked for help to control grasshoppers. Plagued with hoppers last summer, farmers asked the government for money to spray ditches and community pastures. This morning, Devine announced $8.2 million would be available to farmers and rural municipalities for pesticides.
And I'm announcing the program at this time so that the estimated 200 rural municipalities which have a high probability of encountering a moderate to severe grasshopper infestation this year will have time to work and plan and organize the kind of attack that we want to put together.
But that's not all. Devine says the province plans to build an agriculture research center, and he promises it will be the best in the world. The Premier says all these announcements have nothing to do with a possible election in the near future. It's just a response to what farmers have been asking for. Brenda Craig, CBC News, Regina.
John Ariel Bellisillo, the man charged with kidnapping in the abduction of a young boy in Moose Jaw last month, made a court appearance today. Bellisillo chose to be tried by a judge without a jury. Jonathan Shanks reports.
It's the third time Bellisillo has been brought to the Moose Jaw court. The last two times he appeared, the judge agreed to an adjournment. But this time, the matter went ahead. 26-year-old Ariel John Bellisillo stood silently as the judge told him he's charged with kidnapping 7-year-old David Mitchell. Speaking through his lawyer, Bellisillo asked to be tried by a judge, but without a jury. Security was tight. Police officers were stationed throughout the courtroom, and David Mitchell's mother and father came to watch the proceedings, as they have with Bellisillo's other court appearances. Bellisillo was only in court a few minutes. His lawyer agreed that he be kept in custody without a bail hearing. He'll be back in court in Moose Jaw on April 25th for a preliminary hearing. Jonathan Shanks, CBC News, Moose Jaw.
A problem with tap water in the town of Martinsville near Saskatoon has been traced to a new water main. The water tastes so bad that it's made some people sick. Lana Fulton reports.
Marie Mack doesn't trust the water in her tap. For the past couple of days, she and her family have been hauling water from Saskatoon. Something's not right with the water in Martinsville.
A really definite odor to it. It almost smells like a slough water, and it has a very definite taste, a different taste. I'm not sure what it is. But it looks fine. Yeah, it looks fine, but it doesn't taste fine. I have a newborn baby, and I was concerned about her because I thought at first she had the flu, but evidently it's the water because I've taken her off of it and she's back to normal.
Mac's not the only one in Martinsville who has problems with the water.
We've had approximately 150 complaints. We've had a lot of people that have had headaches or nausea. Some people have had no effect to it whatsoever.
Martinsville gets its water from Saskatoon. Last week, a second water line was added so the town could get more water. That second pipe has caused all the problems. It's lined to keep it from corroding, and there's something wrong with that lining. Martinsville has been told its water is safe to use. But because of the taste and smell, people here aren't taking any chances. The town is getting rid of all its bad water, so by tomorrow, it'll have a fresh batch. That'll come from Saskatoon through the old water line. Lana Fulton, CBC News, Martinsville.
And that's it for the news. Coming up next in the weather, it's kind of a dreary forecast. Details in a moment.
Why do you insist on Preparation H?
There's something in Preparation H that reduces the swelling, and that reduces the pain, and then it takes my mind off it. I don't think about it anymore.
It's true. And the thing that sets Preparation H apart is Biodyne, an exclusive ingredient that actually shrinks and heals swollen hemorrhoids for lasting relief of pain.
I've been using it since my first pregnancy and after childbirth, and I'm still using it whenever my hemorrhoids act up.
Coming up at 7-Eleven, coming in, coming out of the cold.
It's cold and it's damp and there's nothing on TV. A perfect night to cozy up with a favorite movie from your 7-Eleven Rent-A-Movie Center. Over 200 titles to choose from. And best of all, it only costs 97 cents during the week and just $1.97 weekends at 7-Eleven.
Walking up at 7-Eleven.
Walking up at 7-Eleven. It says here my home will be shown twice this week. Yes, ma'am. Check. And the ad is running Saturday. Check.
Royal LePage wants you to know we're working hard for you. So as proof of our commitment, we designed our exclusive home marketing program to help you keep track of what we're doing, plus give you lots of selling advice.
It's good to know that you know that I know that you know what you're doing. I know.
At this time of the year, Auto Clearing goes indoors with our entire new and used car and truck inventories. We reduce our inventory by reducing our prices during our indoor sale. We pay high trade-in values and have factory and extended warranties available. For fair prices and professional after-sales service, see us at our indoor sale. Saskatoon's Chrysler, Plymouth, and Dodge truck dealer, Auto Clearing, quietly outdealing them all.
Normally in Saskatchewan, if you don't like the weather, you wait a day or two and it changes. Well, that's normally. Right now, we don't have any upper winds pushing systems around, so we're stuck with the weather that we have right now. And that means this. Here's the Arctic front. It runs down through Alberta. And on this side of the Arctic front, there's cloud and some precipitation and some fog as well. It's not going anywhere. It's staying right where it is. So Saskatchewan is stuck with cloudy skies, kind of dreary weather. Temperatures aren't too bad, well above normal for this time of year. Lows, -3 degrees in southern and central Saskatchewan. In northern areas, a few degrees cooler, maybe -6 or -8 degrees. And daytime high, somewhere around 0 to +2 degrees. Now, that's above normal by about 10 degrees for the overnight low, maybe a bit more. And we'll continue with temperatures above normal, but as I said, it'll be kind of dreary because the cloud will be hanging around Saskatchewan for the next little while. Cloudy skies for tomorrow and for Friday, and the long-range forecast for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is calling for cloudy skies as well. So we'll just have to wait until the upper winds start pushing systems around, and we'll get a nice ridge of high pressure and some clear skies one of these days. We'll take a look at current conditions. Right now in Regina, cloudy, 0, and the winds from the southeast at 17. Moose Jaw is overcast, +1, the winds from the east at 15, and Saskatoon overcast, 1, southeast at 11. Around southern Saskatchewan, -1 in Kindersley, fog in Estevan and +1 also in Swift Current, Rockland 0, and Yorkton -2. In Prince Albert and the Battlefords, +1, the same for Buffalo Narrows, La Ronge, freezing drizzle, and a temperature of -1, and Meadow Lake was not available. Now, the forecast for southern and central areas of the province for tonight: cloudy, some fog patches around, winds from the southeast at 15, and lows of -3. Tomorrow, the temperature doesn't rise too much, but it gets on the plus side with a high of 2 and mostly cloudy skies. Friday is cloudy, and again, highs of +2. In the north, a few degrees cooler, cloudy with fog, winds from the southeast at 15 and lows of -6. For tomorrow, cloudy, highs of 0, and Friday, cloudy and highs around 0. And for the weekend, it looks as though we'll continue with much the same weather. That's it for the weather. Coming up next, Ron Manns has the sports.
In March, the Western Express is hotter than ever. In an instant, 100 Express players will win a red-hot 1986 Firebird. In an instant, 25 bonus Firebirds each and every week in March.
100 Firebird!
Shift to the Western Express, the high-performance game of the month.
The Western Express!
My distinguished colleague and I would like to demonstrate what to look for in a color TV. In particular, the new Sony Trinitron TVs, now with mirror black screens. Watch closely. Mirror black gives you blacker blacks, and whiter whites. In all modesty, it's the sharpest, clearest picture in the history of Trinitron. See the difference at your Sony dealer. Once you do, choosing a color TV should be as simple as a black and white.
This is Zeller's Little Book of Big Values actual size, but look at any of the hundreds of values inside, like these colorful wood frame prints from 788 to 1988, and its importance grows. Check out this 1.0 cubic foot Sanyo microwave with temperature probe, just $3.39, and you'll realize this book is no small potatoes, and save up to 50% on all these Rubbermaid products, and you'll discover the true dimensions of the sale. So get going. You don't need the book to save. Just come to Zeller's.
Red Nickerson here. Any of you boys out there interested in more killing power for less money? Well, listen up. I'm going to say it just once. Dival herbicide. Costs a third less than Buctralium and kills more weeds, including Kennedy thistle and wild buckwheat. You'd think it'd look as good to you as a hot Texas afternoon when she's 30 below. No, sirree. Some of you claim you never even heard of Dival herbicide. Wake up. Go for Dival. I'm Red Nickerson. Treat yourself better today.
Well, a couple of nights ago, Barry Trapp, the coach of the Moose Jaw Warriors, said if the team didn't start winning, he was going to leave, right? Now, they won.
That's what he said.
Yeah, they won last night, but tonight they didn't do so well.
Not so lucky tonight. As each game goes on, Barry's tenure, as far as his prediction, is getting weaker and weaker and weaker.
Right.
It was a rough one in Moose Jaw tonight. The game interrupted for quite a while, thanks to some fisticuffs in the second period, first period as well, as far as that goes. But when play finally did resume, the Moose Jaw Warriors lost to the Saskatoon Blades 4-3. Saskatoon in blue, Warriors in white on the attack, and number 9, Theron Fleury gets off a wrist shot that beat Blades goalie Tim Shovelday to the glove side. 1-0 Moose Jaw, 7:32 into the game. 5 minutes later, Warriors again. As number 24, Kelly Buckberger beat Shovelday, 2-0 Warriors. That's how the first period ended. When play resumed after all the fighting in the second, the Blades roared back. And number 12, Sean Van Allen, beats Darryl Gilmore, making it a 2-1 score. 8 minutes later, number 27, Troy Volhofer, passes out from the corner to Rod Machik in front, and bingo, it's a 2-2 tie. Just 24 seconds after that, the Blades took the lead for good as number 18, Tracy Kotelnikoff, beats Gilmore. 3-2 Blades after 2. And as I said, the Saskatoon Blades went on to win this game tonight 4-3. The Warriors still 7th. In the East Division, 3 points back of 6th place Brandon. In Brandon tonight, the Wheat Kings failed to gain any ground, losing for the 10th time this season to the Regina Pats, who tonight clinched 3rd place in the East Division standings with a 5-2 victory. Up in Prince Albert, a game just over, the Raiders defeating the Lethbridge Broncos 7-4. So as the Western Hockey League standings see the Prince Albert Raiders and the Medicine Hat Tigers now tied in top spot with 99 points each. Regina again clinching that 3rd place tonight. And you see at the bottom the battle for 6th place. The race did not change tonight as Moose Jaw and Brandon both lost their games. Calgary was not playing. NHL action tonight at the Forum in Montreal saw the Adams Division leading Canadiens bang in 3 unanswered goals to come from behind and beat the lifeless Canucks from Vancouver 3-2. It was Montreal Getting beaten early by the Canucks as Sweden's Patrick Sundstrom collected his 100th NHL goal, his 14th this season, beating Patrick Roy. And then it was Canucks Swede Thomas Gradin, as he got his 11th this season, making it 2-0 Canucks after one period. Only goal of the second, naturally by the Canadiens. This time their Swedes' turn as Mats Naslund got his 39th of the season, beating Richard Brodeur. Brodeur was the key in the game for the Canucks as he faced 26 Montreal shots, making key saves like that one. In the third period, 9 minutes, 10 seconds gone, Chris Nyland let a drop pass for Larry Robinson. He used his wrist shot to beat Brodeur. Goal number 18 for Robinson, tying the game at 2. And with 4:04 left to play in the game, Stéphane Richer in front picks up his 16th goal this season on the tip-in. 3-2, the Montreal Canadiens beat the Vancouver Canucks. In Chicago tonight, the Sabres moved 3 points up on Boston in the Adams division as they knocked off the Norris-leading Blackhawks 7-6. And in Pittsburgh, Mario Lemieux extended his team record's point-scoring streak to 27 games, but in vain as Pittsburgh lost its 5th straight. Charlie Simmer got a pair for Boston, the Bruins ending their 3-game losing streak 5-2 over Pittsburgh. At the Gardens in New York tonight, the Calgary Flames snapped their 3-game winless streak, edging the Rangers 3-2.
Second period of the game, Calgary in red, leading 2-0. Al McGinnis with a slap shot. The initial save is made, but there's Joe Lotto on the rebound. It was 3-0 Calgary. Barry Beck, a devastating hit. Watch the left of your screen. He knocks flying Joey Mullen. On the play, Barry Beck injured his shoulder. He had to leave. The game was lost for the rest of the night. With the Flames leading 3-1, the Rangers think they got robbed. Bob Brook with a shot. Mike Vernon makes the save. Referee said the play was dead. He blew the whistle. Even though the puck was in continuous motion, Bob Brook put in the rebound. Another angle shows that the Rangers were robbed. They lose to the Calgary Flames, 3-2.
Yesterday's bag full of NHL trades has left at least one guy upset. Defenseman Stefan Persson is considering retiring rather than reporting to the Winnipeg Jets. Seems he claims he was going to hang them up at the end of the season anyway. Meanwhile, in Winnipeg tonight, the Jets hosted Gretzky's Oilers. And the Oilers opened the scoring 4:06 in as Mark Napier got off a snapshot for his 20th goal to make it 1-0, beating Daniel Bouchard. The Oilers took a 2-0 lead on the power play moments later as Jari Kurri collected his league-leading 56th goal this season. Jets shorthanded came back. This time it's Dale Hawerchuk picking up his 41st of the season as he beat Grand Fuhrer. It was 2-1 Oilers at this point. Jets tied the game just over a minute later as Turnbull gets a deflection for his 16th goal this season. Short-lived, though, as Edmonton again scored 23 seconds after Winnipeg had scored. Craig McTavish will get his first of 2 in a row to put the Oilers on top 3-2 after one period of play. McTavish got his second in a row early in the second to make it a 4-2 Oiler lead. And they went on to win this game eventually tonight in Winnipeg, 8-5. Fergie's first loss in 4 games behind the Jets bench since he fired Barry Long. The West Coast game and the Who Cares game, Detroit leading Los Angeles 1-0 in the second period of play. The final men's World Cup downhill ski race of the season is set for Saturday at Whistler Mountain in BC. Today's first training runs were called off, if you can believe it, because of snow and a bit of fog.
Whistler is just being her often unpredictable self again to start this 1986 World Cup week. Mild weather mixed with an incoming cold front brings fog to the course. But the cold weather is winning the fight between the two, and the first day's training runs were actually snowed out. Everybody went to the top and stayed there, and nobody worried about it at all.
Unfortunately, it's snowing so heavy the goggles are just picking it up, and you can't go speeds of 100, 125 kilometers an hour and have snow come out. Visibility actually isn't all that bad on the mountain. In hindsight right now, they've had a good inspection. I think that probably it won't hurt to get a good pile of snow on this course anyhow.
The course is all set to go. It's hard and fast on top, chemical to similar conditions on the bottom half.
We use chemistry on it with urea fertilizer from the middle down. From wall to wall, it's solid, and it is really hard. It's going to be fast.
And besides, Whistler is used to the unpredictability of its mountain, the one they call the Big Softy. She comes up with something new and different each and every time they come here to challenge her slopes. She's just doing it to them again.
Good. It's in really good shape. It's, you know, even though it's so warm down here, it's still It's set up pretty well.
So the welcome snowfall won today's edition of this biannual classic between man and the elements. Some did ski the run, but nobody went full out, maybe for fear of upsetting the lady who today was just being her usual self. Tomorrow they'll take another look at the hill and the sky, and then they'll test her again. It is Whistler Mountain, and that's the way the lady likes to have her races run.
Grapefruit League baseball action today in West Palm Beach, Florida, saw the Montreal Expos preseason record fall to 1-3 after a 4-3 loss to the LA Dodgers.
The Expos opened the scoring in the bottom of the first inning. Tim Raines led off with a walk, and Vance Law followed with a double to left field off Rick Honeycutt. Raines scored, and it was 1-0. The Expos got a strong outing from starting pitcher Andy McGaffigan, who gave up just 1 hit and struck out 2 batters over 3 innings of work. Floyd Yeomans came in and pitched the middle innings for Montreal. He gave up a 5th inning homer to Alex Trevino, and the solo blast tied the game 1-1. And then, with runners on 2nd and 3rd in the top of the 6th, Pedro Guerrero pounded a Yeomans pitch between 3rd and short. Both runners scored, and LA led 3-1. Montreal got 1 run back in the bottom of the inning. Hubie Brooks scored from 3rd when LA shortstop Bill Russell fielded a grounder from Andres Galarraga and threw it away on what should have been the 3rd out. The Expos tied it in the 7th. Wallace Johnson lifted a fly to center, where Reggie Williams suffered one of life's embarrassing moments. He dropped it. A single and an infield out scored Johnson with the tying run a little later. But in the top of the 9th, a 1-out single to right center by Alex Trevino scored Mariano Duncan from second base, giving the Dodgers a 4-3 victory. The Dodgers' Grapefruit League record improved to 3-2. Montreal's fell to 1-2.
Former Montreal Expo Rusty Staub will be back with the New York Mets for at least 1 more year after the free agent agreed to a $300,000 1-year deal with the Mets today. Meanwhile, in Dunedin, Florida, Gary Carter of the Mets had 3 RBIs in leading New York past Toronto's Blue Jays 5-3. Jays not only dropped to 1-3, but they also lost pitcher Tom Filer, who re-injured his right elbow. That's the same one that sidelined him on the disabled list 3 times last year. There will be another Rough Rider press conference tomorrow morning. Clarification regarding Bill Quinter's meeting today in Calgary with CFL Commissioner Doug Mitchell and BC's Don Matthews is expected, with a couple of other items on the plate as well. The pie-in-the-sky dreams of a merger with the NFL by the USFL got splattered tonight. The NFL has flatly said no to an offer to settle the $1.3 billion antitrust suit the USFL has brought against them. The offer would have meant Memphis, Baltimore, and New Jersey, plus 1 unnamed team, would have joined the NFL in a merger. And Howard, that's sports.
It's always interesting with lawsuits going in sports, right?
Certainly is.
All right, that's all the time we have. Thanks for being with us. Ron and I will be back again tomorrow night. Good night.
This is CBC Television.
You to the grand opening of Key West Motor Products this Saturday. Come on in and test drive our Neva 4x4, our Signet GL, and our Signet station wagon. It's going to be a fun day, and nobody should miss it. Nobody.
Nobody does it like Key West Motor Products. Nobody does it better.
Look, it says here we can lose up to $40 an acre in yield to quackgrass. And tillage doesn't do the job.
Once over with Roundup sure paid off for me.
Roundup?
Well, I only had a little quackgrass, but Roundup still paid for itself with extra yield.
Roundup?
I'm seeing more than 1 season control since I used Roundup, and more than 1 year's extra yield.
Roundup?
More affordable than quackgrass. More effective than tillage.
Roundup.
Grand opening excitement prevails at Fresh Air Home Leisure Center, 51st and 1st. They have spas. Spas are becoming a way of life. Join the trend of relaxation and fun with a quality therapeutic spa, pre-plumbed, portable, and a 25-year warranty. You deserve this. Fresh Air Home Leisure Center offers computerized water analysis for both spas and pools, so you'll always have just the right amount of chemicals for crystal clear water. Service Plus at Fresh Air Home Leisure Center, 51st and 1st.